money moves, making money moves. Making money moves, making money moves. When the pressure's at its...
Want to do it. 'Cause I'm transparent like that. I can't, Pastor said. Pastor was talking about that today. All right, transparency and everything. And but like I was saying earlier, the thing is that when I think of our ancestors and mimicking our family, our traits and stuff, okay, you know that they was all entertainers and stuff like that. So watching them growing up and everything, I start mimicking everybody. So it's 9, okay, but one ran away, one passed, so that left them 7. So from every time that family would have a little gathering and stuff like that, and mommy's there, and we all entertaining and stuff, so we kind of all little bitty, but you know, but we enjoying ourselves. So we go home, and in my head, I can still see, you know, who was doing what. So I know everybody saw the dance and everything. So I don't know, maybe I just started picking up that type of trait. And then when you get older, you start to wonder inside your head, you know, okay, who are you? Okay, but are you made up of all these people that actually influenced you? And how do you kind of like, I guess, disconnect, but yet still kind of connect at the same time? So I just found it to be interesting. Then you go see your therapist, or you want to talk to somebody, you say, you know, do you have like, are you bipolar, schizophrenic, or whatever? But then again, I think in life, you basically wear a lot of different type of titles as well, and a lot of different hats. And you give off the persona that you want to see, or either the demeanor that you want people to think that you are, but who are you really? So sometimes you come to that question, who are you? Then when the spiritual thing you ask, you say, well, am I God-like? Am I made in his image? Am I the person that he wants me to be? What's my purpose? And I think that that's like a journey, and we all just traveling, you know. So every now and then I kind of get stuck, and I think that every day, like I said, I celebrate life every day. It's a new rebirthing. So like people say happy birthday, we all into this pagan holiday type of stuff, you know, here and there and stuff. We celebrate things that's not necessarily true, but then again, what is true? We don't know.
I actually dropped this on my birthday only because, you know, I'm talking to my mama, and you asked me a question, like, is Dizzy Darnell? And then before I turned on the camera, we started talking about the ancestry stuff. And you know, to answer your question, you know, I think you know, Dizzy Darnell, when I call myself Hope, when I call myself Hollywood, I think they all the same person. I just feel like, you know, it's just different degrees to where I want to go, of how I want to express myself. Like when it's funny because when me and Chris Mills, you know, shout out to Mills, shout out to Bunjus. I actually spoke to Bunjus the other day.
Oh, we okay. I can't right.
So like when we first started rapping, I kind of said like I was gonna be like the alter ego one, like the one who's gonna have like the alter egos and stuff like that. Even when I was rapping with Tox, shout out to my cousin Tox. Like when we became the 2-man group and we started saying we'll be like Outcasts. It was like I told myself I'll be the one to, you know, wear the wacky colors and
I've always liked the Outcast, you know, though. I like the title of that, Outcast.
You know, like I always said I'll be the one to challenge myself to go to those measurements of just being someone different, completely different from who I actually am. But what ended up happening was I started expressing things that were happening to me as a child, as an adolescent, and it was just like I had to personify. Was I happy? Was I mad? Was I enraged? Was I this? Was I that? And it was like, well, sometimes Darnell might feel like this. You know, Darnell's the person who might, you know, be real human about it, real maybe sensitive to the situation, to really think it out.
It's therapeutic for you.
In a sense, because, you know, it gives me that how are you gonna figure this out today type of thing, because, you know, Darnell might figure this out this way, to where like Dizzy might not take it too serious. He might goof around with it, like he might just be impulsive and just whatever, to where it's like I feel like my other personas is like where it's like spades, to me, it's like that's my serious, like cutthroat. Like we not playing the game. We in the game, but we not playing the game. Life gave us crazy games. That's kind of where my name come from, of just Dizzy Spades. If you play spades and you pass your cards or whatever, the cards spin sometimes, and it makes you dizzy. But the game of spades, you play with your partner, and the mission of the game is to have books, and you use a spade if you don't have anything, in your suit, and you can cut it. It's like real, like whatever. So when you teaming up with a partner, like they might been dependent on that book to win the game, and with your spade you could just cut. You could just cut it like boom. It's you don't even have to explain nothing. It's done. It's cut. So it's like life got games like that, to where it's like certain things just happen that fast. It's cut. Like, so it was like I had those personas or whatever, and then it's just with the battle rap thing. When I entered into it or whatever, with the Hollywood persona, it was just like I like lights and I like TVs and I like
camera action.
I like that type of stuff. I figured, why not? Why not make all that together? And it was easier to incorporate the Hulk with Hollywood Hulk and put that together. It was easy for me to make that something really personal also, of just making it deeper than rap, of just Hulk is green and he can turn gray, and my son's favorite color is green and mine is gray, and it's the same thing, and it's something how we can relate. And Hulk Hogan wants to be called the immortal. I want to be known to live in these lights forever and stuff like that. Like it was easy to make those transitions and then say, you know what, this is all me. This is all me. So like Darnell, Dizzy, Hollywood, Spades, the Hollywood, like all everything, all of that. It's all me. It's all me. It's just how I express it and how I want to go about my day. So I would say, you know who you getting with me, but you don't know who you getting with me. And
I think that's an everyday thing. Like, the person that we are 5 minutes ago are not possibly the same person that we are now, but at the same time, we're still the same individual, somewhat. And when they talk about time travel, I think of it in just that same sense, because we travel in time. Okay, we don't necessarily have to go back, and we can go forward, but when we look ahead and we make plans, that's one thing. But even when those plans don't always turn out to be, we still have to be in the present. And then sometimes it's questionable. Sometimes I really want to know, are we really here? Okay, and I go back to like scripture in that sense, because I think things are scripted. And we're kind of like in this big fairy tale book. Not to say that the Bible quote is a fairy tale, but some things it's got kind of like you wondering. But then when you see it come to fruition, you're like, how could that possibly not be? When you just see it happen. So when you was talking about a couple of different things, I go back to the thing spades. It's ironic, and again I go back to where's I the ancestors. Okay, the grandparents on both sides. Okay, they like to play cards, but definitely I know more so on my mom's and my father's side, and I'm quite sure he was around granddaddy. If he ever got a chance to play, he liked to play cards. Bid whist is a different type of game. You get to make your own trump versus a spade. And when it comes to your partner, sometimes even though you have a partner, sometimes you really feel like you're by yourself. So that's why you might end up cutting your partner. Okay? But if you read them, and that's, I guess, sometimes you have to even read yourself, that concentration moment of how you're going to play it. And that's another thing.
That's how, like, when it came to deciding that's what I wanted to make my name, Dizzy Spades. Shout out to Jordan, my guy Nichols. I haven't spoken to him in years, but I hope he's doing good and stuff like that. But actually came from this guy Jordan.
From South?
Yeah, from down south.
Wow.
Like Jordan. Facts. So what happened? And he used to be, before I started ever playing spades with Mills or whatever, I was playing the game with Jordan, and we would take turns trying to read each other's hands and figuring out when would be the best time to cut your partner, because that is sometimes what you have to do in the game. Yeah. And we used to spend hours on this technique and stuff like that, to the point to where not only do I feel like I'm a really, really good spades player, like I started teaching other people the technique. Mills knew how to do another technique, and it kind of shows you like if you trust your partner, you can actually do tag team things in spades to where it's like, well, if you just playing two random people and they just picking up their hand and not really knowing what's going on versus an experienced player who knows, look, if I'm cutting my partner head, that means my partner knows to cover this, cover this back end, or front this here. Like it's actually high fives and stuff like that. Like we started becoming that good in spades, and it's like in life, it's like if you figure out, because you always feel like you're alone in life, but if you figure out how to work with people, and even if you have to cut that person to do something or whatever, if you really have that relationship with them to where it's like they have to understand what's going on, and it's life that presents this opposition in front of you, and you learn how to handle that, you can come back and win the game.
No doubt.
You can come back and really take advantage of what life tried to put in as an obstacle in front of you. So when it came to putting my name as Dizzy Spades, and I was sitting there talking to Jordan, and he was like, you know what? Life does give you crazy, cards to deal with, but like you figure that out no matter how it spins. And it's like the game of spades. Like no matter how them cards spin to you, like you figure that game out. You can beat those people who say they going for a Boston if you stop them. You make that one book, they can't do that.
That's true.
Like
That's true.
It's so many ways to even those people who look like they're winning in the game that you could put a wrench in that system or whatever. It's like no matter how the cards spin, you go for it. You go for it. And it's like that's how I wanted to look at life when it came to like me doing my profession. Like no matter how these cards spin, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna cut and do what I gotta do and stuff like that, and deal with the hand. Like I don't feel like I had the best hand, but I don't feel like I've lost every game.
And that's the point. Okay, sometimes they say that you can win the fight, but it's still a battle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when I think about again when you said the battle rap when you first got into it, okay, I'm like, okay, what you into a fight, the words and the terms and stuff. So I was glad that you actually clarified that. And when you said you educating and making people aware of those things and stuff like that, I think that is very important, and it was definitely a culture. And I think we spoke about this here prior to before. How I personally felt. Okay, anything that's kind of like negative, too much profanity and everything else and stuff. Okay, because I know that that's an influential type of platform, okay? And it's not just rapping, it's, our music as well, my era, my mom's era, your grandparents, great-grandparents, okay? Everything around us is something that can influence us, and how we can kind of like take it there. It can mean one thing, it can mean two things. It depends on how you think of it and your perspective. And I see that you was able to flip it and turn it. And I think that that's, a good thing. And I appreciate that, But again, for us old school ones, okay, that really don't understand all of that and stuff, it's like, nope, that's just another type of killer rap, gangster rap, or have people warring and killing each other. If you could take out the violence and actually kind of flip it and turn it again to whereas, I'm angry, and like you said about even with the Hawk, how he can actually control his anger. And if you can vent that way and it can actually be therapeutic, then that's even better. And even though I listen to a lot of the rappers, somewhat of a little bit, I'm trying to get into the day, and like I said, with the niggas with attitude and stuff, I'm like, why would they say that? I can't stand the fact that y'all, some people still call each other niggas and bitches and hoes, excuse the expression, French and stuff, but we all grown here. I just don't like that degrading. I want us to be uplifted, but facts are facts. And I'm glad that, when you do your work now, because that's what I look at it versus a hobby, but I still think it's, something that entertains you. But again, look at the time that you was at, the age that you was at. So I'm like, no, concentrate in school, this, that, and that's kind of like the basics, of what we, found to do in foundation work and stuff. But as a parent, that's what my concerns was. But now that you've grown, you're on your own, you're doing what you got to do, I can actually say that I'm happy and I'm proud of you. So that's a good thing.
Appreciate it.
I still want you to still do some other things though, but as long as you ain't getting into trouble, I can handle it.
I got you.
I can handle it.
Got you.
So what else we gonna talk about, stuff?
So, you was also, we were talking about, because like I said, I'm dropping this on my birthday.
Congrats.
Thank you. And the last time they seen you, it was for your birthday.
Oh yes, happy birthday! God, thank you.
So,
happy birthday, y'all.
Thank you. So, for my birthday, my present for myself, I was planning on dropping my debut album, my solo project, Access Hollywood, and that's something that we was talking about on your birthday. From how I was sitting there setting a plan. I have the Next Stop Hollywood series going on. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and watch all my content I got going on. Make sure y'all follow Ye86 on YouTube and on Instagram. Shout out to Hirsch, T-Wise, MR, the whole team. We doing a lot. Shout out to Fresh Classic, Ye86, and 86 Films. We doing a lot. We're really doing a lot. We're doing a lot. Shout out to Coliseum.
I want you to do another positive vibe, though. I definitely liked that one. Out of all of them, I appreciate, the things that you do in your own way, because anything that you said you're going to do, you're not the procrastinator, and that's a plus.
So with the positive vibe, actually,
definitely
I do have the plan to bring that back. The thing was with the positive vibe was I wanted to bring out my album, Access Hollywood. Okay. And what I'm going to do with the positive vibe thing is also like what I did with my book. Is I wrote a book for my album. So I wrote two books. I actually turned what I did last year with the 30 Days of Positivity into a book, and I turned my album. I turned it into an autobiography, and what I wanted to do was position the music to where you could see and hear the music. Then I can give you the story. You can read the book.
Music and the man.
Stuff like that. I wanted to just position that type of stuff as a birthday present for myself. And because we're expecting, so that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Salute to
we got the mask on the table.
I still gotta promote and do Hollywood type of stuff. I still gotta know the Hollywood hosts in the building.
No. Let me go back to that though for just for a second with the mask. When you told me, and I noticed that you had just did another video. Okay. Right. And growing up, you was like da 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 da. Okay. And when you had started rapping, and something about Superman rather, and Kryptonite, and okay. So speaking to Aunt Gelly, and how good she is and stuff, and she was one of your babysitters, caretaker and stuff. And so when I showed her, she was like, "Oh no," she said, "He went from being like Superman, which is cool, to another character." I said, "Yeah," I said, "But they're into like the Marvel." So Marvelous, and she was like, she was feeling it and stuff. But
Superman is a DC character.
Listen, DC, AC, BC.
It's a DC character, so
I just know it was a comic strip.
Hulk is a Marvel character, so if we going from there, like Hulk, the Incredible Hulk will be.
They're all characters.
They are.
They're all characters.
Sometimes I might be Superman.
But listen, this is what I'm saying. Okay, if you're doing a lot of things, you gotta be Superman. You're doing all that stuff, right? And making babies too? Okay, you're doing a lot of things, right?
Superman and Hulk Hogan do the same motion. They rip that shirt like this, and it's go time. So you never know. I might be Superman. You never know. I don't know. Clark Kent, Superman, however you put it.
But again, even with that,
you play that theme song, I'm flying.
But even with that, when you think about it, okay, and like I said, and even when we watch television programs, okay, and in real life, so they said, art imitates life, life imitates art, and it kind of goes back to each other. They exist with one another in the same, okay? And I think about it, so when we really look at this mask off, even with us wearing these masks nowadays, and this cultural thing with this pandemic, people made it like fashionable. First, I'm not wearing no mask, okay? Okay, now they tell us to take it off, put it on and stuff, but now they're gonna put it, a mask on it, but who are we behind the mask? Who are we? Do we know that? Are we that transparent? And I tell you, our pastor was speaking on something like that earlier again. So even when you're wearing the mask, you have his face on. And some of us don't really know, that might not have followed wrestling. Okay, who is Hulk Hogan in his real, quote identity as far as who he is as a human being.
It's like when he's being Terry. I mean, when he being Terry, I guess that's him being Terry. But with me wearing that mask, actually has something. It has nothing to do with it. I actually kind of explained this in my last battle.
Okay.
Shout out to Coliseum Last Will. And I kind of actually explained this to you when I had seen you not too long ago. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
put that one on.
No, I'm about to explain it right now.
Remember all of that.
So, and it also goes with
the Hawk one. I remember more.
But I'm about to tell you right now. Okay. So this is the Hulk. So
I think the green mask.
But I had the green mask too. So I
got the green one was much more. He was like, I'm angry, I'm hurt, and I got into that one because I thought that one right there was definitely someone expressing their pain and agony more so, and how often do we actually feel like we have to hide between.
I always got my. I'm not. They not so.
Yeah, this one was.
But I can explain both of them at the same time.
Okay.
And this will be like a behind the scenes, 2-for-1. Happy birthday, Dizzy! Shout out to everybody who's watching. Thanks to my mama for birthing me on this crazy day, 7:30. That's why we Dizzy for real. But with the
mask, they call me buddy. Okay, I ain't Dizzy.
So with the thing with the mask was and I'll start with the Hulk Hogan one was, in society, they blackface us all the time.
Yeah.
They blackface us all the time. They make movies about this all the time. They come in. They steal our culture. Mm-hmm. They steal everything from us. And it's just like, they just look at us and say, you know what, you better be cool with it. Like, you better accept that. Like, you better not have a problem with that. Like, we're going to blackface you and do what we want. And it's like...
They don't even know who they are because they mimicking everything we do, so they want to hop behind that.
So what happens when you whiteface them? And I whiteface them and I go in and I take your fortune and riches. You've been stealing my culture.
Yeah, Ted Danson, when he was with Whoopi Goldberg, okay, they was very, very upset with that, and he got a little bit of backlash from it, first of all, because he was going with in public, and how Whoopi is and stuff, and they underestimated her and they give her big ups as well. But at that particular time, they was just not ready for that, and he came to some event they had, and he was like, like insulting. But a lot of people did get back at him for that. So again, when us being entertainers or their entertainment, I think sometimes that's also something that sometimes bothers me, or I get mixed feelings about how we're portrayed in just about almost everything that we do. So it's kind of like that walking thin line, crust, with the eggshell type of thing. But when we go back to, like you say, give them what they give us, they have an issue with it. But should we actually go back to do the same thing, or just let them? Do you think that they really care?
To me, it's not a question if we should do it. It's if who's gonna do it. That's why I said I'm gonna do it. Like it's not a question of well, should we do it? Is this the right thing to do because they've been doing it to us? I'm petty. I'm gonna do it.
No, I get it.
But
okay.
So it's like, to answer that question is like, I took it upon myself of not asking that question. I took it and did that action of saying, I'm a whiteface y'all, and I'm a use this to go viral. I'm gonna use this to get in those doors that you probably was denying other people, but I know how to get in those doors. I know how to speak and make business decisions based on you are involved in my culture. You want to know what I do. You want to see what I see. You want to be a part of what I'm a part of. I'm a part of the culture. Like, I'm a part of the raw essence of the culture, and it's like, to most people who are not a part of the culture, it's a mystery, and it's like, how are you involved in it, and how are you navigating it, and why is it so entertaining and stuff like that. I'm one of the most entertaining people in my culture, and it's like, everybody knows who Hulk Hogan is and stuff like that, so it's cool, it's fun, it's relatable. So you was able to use him. I was able to use that, and then with his name being Hulk Hogan and stuff like that, with him, that's Hulk. This is Hulk and stuff like that. So it's
two names of Hulk.
So it's like, the reason why he picked his name to be Hulk Hogan was the original Hulk and stuff like that. And I get angry. I'm always angry, like stuff like that. So, but you know what? It's dope because I have the Hulk versus Hulk show to where it's like, as being this Hulk, I express like I might be angry, but I'm trying to go through anger management, and I make it fun. Cool, you know, I make it entertaining. I make it entertaining. I make it cool. It's actually a very deeper meaning. This is my son's favorite Marvel character. Mm-hmm. He doesn't like too many characters outside of Angry Birds at all. So it's like, I love comic books and stuff like that. So when I looked at this, like, oh, this is something that we can definitely relate to. I actually love the Gray Hulk. So when it was like he likes the Green Hulk because he's the green and his gray is my color. Yeah. Hulk turns gray. Like this is something that this is something that me and my son can have forever. This is our thing or whatever. And Hulk gets angry. I know my son's gonna get angry and do stuff like that. But the Gray Hulk, he speaks professional. He wears suits. Like he's Joe Fixit. Like that's his name. Like he's not Bruce Banner. He's Joe Fixit. And in my life and stuff like that, I fix a lot of things. I fix a lot of problems. I fix the culture if you put it in my hands and stuff like that. I know how to fix things, and that's what the Hulk do. Okay, you know, okay. Joe Fixit.
I just know that when I seen the part where, you know, he was like talking to himself at one point, and a lot of times people think they said you have a conversation with yourself, you're not supposed to.
But I don't be talking to myself. No. I don't talk to myself.
I have great conversations.
I don't talk to myself. I talk to these guys. So
my thing said educated queen. Okay,
that's what I'm trying to say though. I don't talk to myself.
I want to make sure that I sound right, okay, before I say anything, and if I don't, I gotta double take it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking. He got his own voice, and he got his own voice, and I got my own voice.
Oh no, without a doubt.
So those is different things.
But those is different things. No, those are the things that I still think that are, you know, a part of who we are. Mm-hmm. We are again many things, you know, within one. You know, I mean, even if you look at the components of our body, okay, really, for real, from inside out, okay, everything that's within us, and even on the outside of us, okay, it plays a part, it plays a role, okay, and as a collective, you know, that's the thing that actually makes us operate right, okay, what they say is a disease, when your body is at not ease, it's a disease, you know, and even how we go about healing, but the mental part of our brain, okay, your mind, we don't necessarily quote possibly see the mind, but we know it supposedly operates, okay, and function. So when you did that, I started thinking about the psychology of it, okay, and a lot of times people can't confess when they're really angry and they don't know how to actually, you know, deal with it. And it's a healing process. So when you were saying that, even as a professional, you know, and even though somewhat of the storyline, we don't necessarily see him other than just being angry as a regular, quote, human being, but when he turns into this scientist and, you know, this experiment with kind of haywire or whatever, and he gets angry and he's like, please, he's asking the people, and it says, don't make me angry, you're not gonna like me when I'm angry, you know. Sometimes, we don't give fair warnings, okay. I used to ask you rather, you know, is it fair to give a fair warning, something in that sense, okay. Sometimes people don't give that, they just go there. So I thought that was pretty, you know, deep in that sense, when you sort of expressed it. Your cousin Jack, she said, okay, Donald's wearing masks in July, and, you know, it's in June rather, okay, and it's Halloween, you know, what's going on? So she wasn't quite sure.
So boom, there you have it. That's why I wear the mask and stuff like that. And then it's also because, you know, a lot of people know who Hulk Hogan is. A lot of people know who the Incredible Hulk is, and if you follow what I'm doing and stuff like that, I hashtag everything Hollywood and stuff like that. So it's like, even though he did go to Hollywood and stuff like that, they make movies of Hulk in Hollywood. I call myself Hollywood. I wanted people to. These people can sneak me in the door. Like if you're a Hulk fan or you're a Hulk fan, and you see what I do. You might like, what's going on? Like, is that really somebody really portraying this? And then what happens is I sneak in, and then you can see who I am for real.
Let me ask you a question.
You can see my music. You can see what I do in the battle rap field. You can see what my videos. You know, we got a video out right now. Gospel's out. It's like
gospel.
Yeah, gospel. We shot our video on 86.
You said gospel, like, oh.
Yeah, gospel is called
you
gospel.
You put mom down. Oh man.
So shout
That's
out
all
to my guy Lama Low. You know, we at like 90,000 views right now. So
Okay.
you know, 86 films. If y'all need some video work done, come holler at
I need
us.
some videos. I need some work done. I need some
Gotcha.
work done. Let me go back to the Hollywood. Have you ever heard of the song by Kool and the Gang, Hollywood Swingers?
Of course.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay. I need you to go back and really listen to
Hollywood
that
Swingers.
song.
I used to do like so I used to do this thing about 3 years ago called Hollywood in the Mornings. It was a radio show with me, T Wise, who was on Year 86. Shout out to T Wise, and this guy named Ab Eves from Philly. And it was our radio show, and that was our theme song every morning. That Hollywood Swinging. And when I right before I had got my invitation to go right back to Smack, and they had this thing called the Invitational Battle, to where they have like the top talents of the city or whatever to perform to get on that plateau. I was on the Invitational and I actually won, and I came out to that song instead of doing what I normally do with his music and stuff like that. So,
okay. But no, go back and listen to it. I want you to really listen to it, because I'll tell you, music is one thing. You know, the lyrics and the theme behind it is something totally different. And a lot of times, you know, on our way up here, you know, we was listening to Slick Rick, the storyteller, and right after that they played Candy Girl, okay? And I mean, I understand, you know, radio stations, and I'm like, Candy Girl came out when I think I like 16, 14, somewhere in between it. And I'm like, why are people still playing that, you know, the Mickey Mouse type? And I understand it might have been a hit. Whereas Rick, you know, it was like that beat, you know, so we so much into the beat. But again, to be the storyteller and listening to it, you know, was something totally different. Candy Girl had a story, you know, to it as well. But as a mature adult, you know, I still felt more towards the beat music than, you know, the Candy Girl thing. But when, again, listening to Hollywood Swingers, like, you know, Kool and the Gang, gotta listen to the lyrics, okay? Put it on pause, and we're gonna listen to the lyrics and come back to it.
Hey, listen to it right now.
All right, take it.
But off what you're speaking on, that's kind of why I wanted to make Access Hollywood the way I made it.
Okay.
You know, like it was something to pay attention to more than just, you know, just the catchy hooks and the catchy songs and stuff like that. Like this particular album, you know, it took me a long time to make. It took 6 years to make. Mm-hmm. And it was like every word that I used on this project, it means something deeper than just rap.
Well, that's what I understand, you know, and I'm glad again that you broke it down, you know, to me and everything else, because like I said, I'm glad that it's a song that really speaks to it, because a lot of people gotta get to Hollywood, gotta have my star, you know, Hollywood, and you know, it's another song, okay, even Shaka Khan, you know, I believe she sings something talking about Hollywood. You know, and sometimes, because we live in a capitalistic type of, you know, society, everything that goes on, and this is where sometimes we kind of get swayed different. You know, yeah, all that's attraction, you know, it's attractive, and we want the, you know, big things and all that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting certain things, you know, because they said, you know, we're supposed to have abundance of. But how we go about getting it, then when we get it, a lot of people in Hollywood, you see what happens, you know. So sometimes it's like, be careful what you ask for, because once you get it, sometimes you can't handle it.
So let me ask you, is that like knowing that, you know, I've been pursuing this for a long time, you know, like ever since you gave me a mic at 3, I've been pursuing this dream or whatever. And then I've made steps, and each, it's like I get to a different level each time or whatever. Is that like a fear that you have? Like, you know, I personify with the Hollywood thing just to let people know I'm trying to go there.
I would say that as a parent, I used to. I'm learning to, again, look at things a whole lot of different ways. I try not to live in fear with anything. I'm trying to go to do this faith walk, okay? And it's a step by step, you know? I think the whole perspective of how I just turn to look at things. I've seen that at one time, again, you said, I asked you rather, you know, what did you want to be when you grew up? You was 5, you said alive. That scared me. That scared me. I thank God thus so far, and I pray still that you outlive me, okay, and I don't have to, bury it. I'm not trying to go nowhere no time either soon, but, you're almost 30 plus in to that 5, okay, so for that, I'm thankful, grateful. And I've gotten, in the time that has passed, I've gotten to understand life differently. This is not our home. We're here just for visitation. And what you decide to do thus so far, I don't see you behind bars. I don't see you in your grave, and you're definitely not in your crib other than your house crib and stuff. And you're not mentally imprisoned. And so I think that has a lot to just say that I don't have to fear that. I think that you make decent decisions. I might not always agree with them, but you're able to maintain. And for me, as a parent, I might not have always done the right thing. And we've already spoken about that, okay? And I bear witness to it. I'm accountable for it. And I own up to it. The fact that if you do something that gets you in trouble, I can only possibly be somewhat supportive, but you still have to handle it. Okay, so I trust that you are going to make the right decisions, and I don't have to have that much fear. Am I concerned? Yes. I'm always going to be concerned. Okay, but I try not to be worried, because that's stressful. And I don't want you to be the death of me. I don't want anything to kill me. Okay, but I know one day I gotta go. Okay, and for me, I just have to concentrate more so on me right now. Okay, I'm thankful that you are at your age where you can take care of yourself and maintain yourself, and you can take care of your family, which is mine, but, I mean in that sense. Okay, so I'm not in that sense of fear. No.
So let's backtrack, because, it's going to be 7:30 when this drops.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Dizzy.
Yes.
I little baby boy.
And I can't even hold you like this no more, but it's okay, but I'm still going to hold you.
So, talk about what it was like, that time you was about to have me, and from then till
we need a whole nother saga for that one. We need a whole nother saga, and that will possibly be even in my book. Okay. But definitely we can go there. But that's another transparency. Okay, and that's a deeper thing that goes past just this here. Okay, that's my life story, but you are definitely a part of it because that's when you came. I can tell you this much here. When I found out that me and your dad was pregnant, and I say us in that sense because it took 2, we was elated. We was very, very excited and happy and everything else and stuff. And I was restricted to doing a couple of things, but that's nobody else's business, at least at this point in time. But it was a joyous occasion, and he was born and out of love, and that's the main thing, and I was very happy. I was very, very happy. So I'm still happy with you. And I'm very, very, again, grateful. I'm still happy. And that's why I'm going to leave it on this one with that.
There you have it. So that's my mama. And shout out to everybody who's watching. Again, man, I'm going to be watching, man. This is my birthday. So, salute to that, man. Salute to everybody who want to hit me and say happy birthday, man. I appreciate everybody. And please, man, please listen to Access Hollywood, man. I worked really, 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 really hard on this music and material. Shout out to everybody who was a part of it, from Rainstorm to my guy Frico, Emar, Franco, Blue Dollars, Casino J, King Screwface, Lama Low,
I respect it.
Shout out to Shy Wiz, man, Arsenal, man, King Flow for producing most of this album, man. Make sure also, man, I have the degree of difficulty, the EP, man. I made that EP for my pop. Shout out to Earl, man. He asked me to start making a lot more music. So, I wanted to start showing that, what I do is very difficult, but, I feel like I got a master's degree in it. So I feel like I earned myself a degree of difficulty of what goes on, and life is challenging. You gotta master that. So Access Hollywood, degree of difficulty will be dropping. Most likely Access Hollywood will be dropping on 7:30, and degree of difficulty will be dropping on my pop's birthday, which is August 4th. So I'm trying to get those dates locked in. give y'all some music. We about to start throwing up. We're gonna have a pool party or something like that. Crazy
I'm
for
having
a
a praise
birthday.
party, so
We're gonna have a praise
party.
party.
Yeah, I'll get my mom and stuff on now.
We're gonna do a lot of cool
Yeah,
different things,
cheers.
man.
Give me a
And
cup. Do a little cheers.
let's do it, man. Thank you. Cheers to me, man. And what's so crazy, I don't even drink liquor anymore and stuff like that. So that's cool. That's
Thank
cool.
you, Jesus.
That's cool. So cheers to that, man.
That's cool. Now that's a beautiful thing.
So, you know, shout out to everybody. Shout out to Coliseum. Shout out to Launch, Year 86. And again, I appreciate everybody who's been watching this journey. We have been working really, really hard, and we're going to have a lot more episodes on the Next Stop Hollywood series. We got a lot of dope people a part of the series that's going.
I can't stand that phrase, dope.
Dope?
I just,
Can't say dope?
I again, you know, this language is okay. I can't say it. I just can't stand it. I can't stand when it seems like we're limited with language, okay? And I understand the lingo, the terminology, and that's another thing, okay? Honestly, okay, when it comes to different languages, okay, to be a culture, we got to learn a little bit more, okay? Because, you know, we live right here and we have at least, what, maybe 7 different, you know, people from different, you know, countries and stuff like that. They speak at least 4, okay? There's nothing wrong with slang when you do street, you know, but dope is dope, and I understand, you know, it's like everything is hype,
Is it
but
chicken?
just remind me of drugs. And I ain't do no dope.
Alright, so we got more amazing people to finish out the year for the Next Stop Hollywood series. So make sure y'all tune in. Also, man, shout out to my guy Steams, man. Yo, shout out to the Beam, because I finally caught up to Steams and got like an interview for him to get on the Next Stop Hollywood series. Y'all know he's a Leo, so we're gonna be probably dropping that around his birthday. Shout out to my guy Ish Moolah, because we actually filmed this on your birthday, bro. We filmed this on your birthday, which is today, but I'm gonna drop this on my birthday, which is gonna be in like 30 days. But you know I love you, bro. You the bro, and I have Mama Love here too. You know, so everything golden, man. You know the vibe. So shout out to the people, man. We out of here. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Stop playing, man.
One love.
One love, baby.